Hey everybody, welcome back to a brand new Pokemon TCG Pocket video. Today we're going to be going over how to counter a meta deck or just any deck in general. Let's go ahead and jump in with 3 simple steps. Before we do jump in, make sure you go ahead and leave a like, subscribe, and of course make sure you leave a comment so you can tell me what you learned, what I missed, or just generally how I'm doing. Really appreciate that. Let's go ahead and jump in with step number 1. So step number 1 is understanding the target deck. First, you need to understand the deck you want to counter. What are its key strengths and weaknesses? Does it rely on a specific attack or a certain combo or a unique strategy? Identifying these elements will help you find the best way to disrupt them. So now we're going to go ahead and jump into an example of step number 1. So let's go ahead and look at Arceus EX with the Carnivine and Crobat as an example for this video. Now, the reason why Arceus EX with the Crobat and Carnivine is so good is it has really good energy scaling. For example, you could set the Carnivine up early and you get the Crobat down, and then by late game, you have the Crobat hitting you for 30 damage if you don't have 2 Crobats set up, which is 60 damage just through the passive, and you have an Arceus coming in and hitting you for a potential 130 with a max bench, and nothing is really going to survive that. So with that, we kind of do understand how this deck wants to work. It wants to be aggressive early with Carnivine, have Crobat Arceus late game, and just some good utility in between with supporters like Cyrus and Guzma. Section 2, choosing the right typing and strategies. Once you know what you're up against, thinking about type advantage and strategies that counter the opponent is very, very big. So let's go ahead and jump into an example for the Arceus deck. So as we can see, this deck is pretty good on typing because Arceus EX is weak to fighting type, but Carnivine actually covers that weakness very well because a lot of fighting types are actually generally weak to grass types or psychic. But in this example, we'll go ahead and say it's a grass type. So Carnivine does cover that up very, very well. Now, fighting type is still going to be considered a good type for the late game because Arceus is going to be coming in, and if we can one-shot it, we'll get 2 prizes and win the game. So now going on to the strategy part of it, what is the biggest flaw of this deck strategy? Well, we have some low HP Mons in Zubat being a 50 HP, which is very susceptible, and Carnivine being at 80 HP. So considering those 2 flaws in its strategy, a perfect deck to counter this is actually Garchomp EX. With a 50 HP snipe, you can go ahead and take care of those Zubats no matter where they are, and a Rampardos to come in late game and pick off the Arceus with a single attack. Step number 3, tech cards and inclusions. Adding a tech card is crucial. There are cards specifically chosen to disrupt and counter your opponent's strategy. Let's go ahead and jump into the example. So as we said before, ground types are generally weak to Carnivine. So why would it make sense to use a Garchomp that has Gibble, which has 60 HP and is weak to grass? Well, there is other alternatives, or tech cards, if you will. The Dragon type Gibble does the same damage for a colorless energy and is not weak to grass, so we want to make sure we slot both of these in to counter this deck. This way, we cannot get one-shot by an early Carnivine swing. And when we evolve into Garchomp EX, we still have all the advantages with a slight drawback of being weak to grass. That's pretty much everything you need to know about countering a deck in a swift, small, compact video. If I did miss anything, make sure you guys let me know in the comments, and I really do appreciate it.